Here's the story of Israel. Not just dates and facts, but a journey through time like a tale told around a fire. Long, long ago, in the cradle of the ancient world, a man named Abraham heard a call. It was a divine promise. A land, a people, and a destiny. He wandered from Ur across deserts and hills, settling in the land of Canaan, where the seeds of a nation were planted. His descendants, Isaac, Jacob, and Joseph, faced trials, famine, and eventually found themselves in Egypt. There, over centuries, they became slaves, groaning under Pharaoh's yoke. But then came Moses, a reluctant hero with a stammer and a staff, who led them to freedom in the dramatic escape we know as the Exodus. Through deserts and storms, the Israelites wandered for 40 years, forging their identity. At Mount Sinai, they received laws, commandments, and a covenant was sealed. Eventually, they reached the Promised Land, and after many battles, they settled. For a while, tribes ruled themselves until they cried out for a king. Saul was first, tall and troubled. Then came David, the shepherd boy who slew Goliath, poet and warrior, who united the tribes and made Jerusalem his capital. His son Solomon built the first temple, a house of gold and cedar for the God of Israel. But peace did not last. After Solomon, the kingdom fractured. Israel in the north, Judah in the south. Enemies circled. The mighty Assyrians devoured the north, and later the Babylonians destroyed Jerusalem and the temple, exiling the people to Babylon. In exile, the Israelites, now called Jews, wept by foreign rivers, but they did not forget. When Persia conquered Babylon, the Jews were allowed to return. They rebuilt the Second Temple, but they remained under foreign rule. Persians, then Greeks, then Romans. Faith and resistance burned within. A Jewish revolt erupted, but Rome crushed it, destroyed the temple again in 70 CE and expelled the people. Scattered across the globe, they entered the age of diaspora. For nearly 2,000 years, Jews lived in exile, in Europe, North Africa, the Middle East. They faced golden ages and dark ages. They wrote books, built synagogues, dreamed of Zion. But they also suffered expulsions, ghettos, pogroms. In the late 1800s, a vision reawakened Zionism. The dream of returning to the ancestral homeland stirred hearts. Led by thinkers like Theodor Herzl, Jews began to immigrate to Palestine, then under Ottoman, later British control. Tensions grew between Jews and the local Arab population. Then came the Holocaust. 6 million Jews murdered by the Nazis. The world was shaken. The call for a Jewish homeland became urgent. In 1947, the United Nations voted to divide Palestine into 2 states, one Jewish, one Arab. Jews accepted, Arabs rejected. And in 1948, Israel was born. David Ben-Gurion declared independence. The next day, 5 Arab nations invaded. Against all odds, Israel survived and even grew, but peace was elusive. Wars followed in 1956, 1967, 1973. In 1967's Six-Day War, Israel captured East Jerusalem, the West Bank, Gaza, Sinai, and the Golan Heights. The victories were stunning, but they brought new challenges: the occupation of Palestinian lands and the rise of Palestinian nationalism. There were uprisings, intifadas, and suicide bombings. There were peace talks, Oslo Accords, Camp David, Annapolis, moments of light that flickered and died. Israel made peace with Egypt and later Jordan, but not with the Palestinians. In the 21st century, Israel became a powerhouse in tech, defense, and innovation, but conflict never left. Gaza, ruled by Hamas, became a flashpoint. Rockets, airstrikes, wars. in 2009, 2014, and again in 2021. Then came the October 7th, 2023 attack, the deadliest in Israel's history, reigniting a brutal war in Gaza. Meanwhile, some Arab nations like the UAE and Bahrain made peace under the Abraham Accords. Hope flickers again and again. Modern Israel is a land of paradoxes, ancient stones and modern skyscrapers, ultra-Orthodox rabbis and high-tech entrepreneurs, Jewish majority, Arab minority, pride and pain, celebration and conflict. The story is not over. It is still being written, every day, in the streets of Tel Aviv, the alleyways of Jerusalem, the hills of the West Bank, and the shattered neighborhoods of Gaza. The story of Israel is a story of survival, of faith, of identity, and of longing, a people returning home and a world still struggling to find peace. Please like and subscribe for more such videos.